So glad you can join me today as we discuss ways we can stay young as long as we possibly can. As I approach 50, this is a subject that is near and dear to my heart. So I have been doing a lot of research, a lot of reading, watching YouTube videos by professionals, by doctors that study longevity. And today I'm going to share with you sort of the surface knowledge that I have learned that you can begin to put into place in your own life, like I am in mine. And then you can dig deeper. You can research these subjects for yourself and learn a little more and create a plan that works for you. If you're new here, my name is Joy from the blog agingwellwithjoy.com. On my blog and on this channel, we discuss beauty and wellness for middle-aged women. If that's you, please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining us. Now, let's dive into what I've learned about how we can stay young. And I'm just going to add a disclaimer here because it's prudent to do so. I am not a medical professional. I am not a nutritionist. I am not giving you medical advice. I am simply sharing with you what I have learned from credible sources are healthy things, healthy choices we can make in our lives. Obviously, you never want to start eating differently or a new exercise program without speaking to your medical professional and getting their advice. So this video is going to discuss specific things, not just a general, hey, eat well and exercise, guys. I delved a little deeper than that, and certainly take the information I give you and delve deeper yourself, research it, and find out what works best for you in your life. So the first theme that kept occurring over and over in all my research, the very first thing that all of the doctors seem to address is mental wellness, mental health, keeping your mind healthy. Your mental health and your physical health are so intertwined. They're so intertwined, they're linked. So if you want to be living your best, longest life, you need to be addressing your mental health, keeping your mind healthy, your brain healthy. Some of the ways to do that were discussed over and over again was number one, meditation. This was a huge one. I was surprised with how many doctors and studies and research just pointed to meditation, said, hey, if you want to stay healthy, meditate. And it can be as little as 10 minutes a day. Now, I do not currently do meditation every day, but I am certainly, after reading these studies, after learning more about the benefits, I'm going to be implementing it in my own life. And if you are also striving to be well, I would suggest implementing it in yours because it is something that has been proven to create better mental health. And one of the reasons for that is that it lowers stress. And we all know, right, that stress has really negative effects on both our mind and our body. But in looking into this, I quickly learned how important it is. There are neuroscientists and doctors out there, longevity specialists, who will not go a day without meditating themselves. It's something that is a part of their routine. Some of them meditate as long as an hour a day. Now, the research seems to indicate even 10 minutes a day before you get out of bed, you could do this. It makes a huge difference in your mental health and in lowering stress levels, which is what we're looking for. Another theme that was constantly brought up was spending time in nature because nature is so healing. It's so important. So do what you can. Spend as much time as you can outside. Take up a hobby outdoors, something that you enjoy, but spend time in nature. Find something you're passionate about. So passion rated really high on the ability for someone to prevent things like dementia and to stay healthy longer. So that passion can be for a person. It certainly can. In fact, we'll get into later how important social connections are. But that passion can be for a person or it can even be for a hobby. The research shows that you can even be passionate about something in your life like a hobby. But you have to find a passion. You have to have a purpose and a passion for something. That is hugely important to keeping yourself mentally well as you age. Also, to keep your mind young, challenge it. So, learning a new skill is very high on the list of recommendations to prevent things like dementia, to push it off. So although those games that we play on our phones, that challenge our brains, those are good and those definitely help, and that was recommended. But it seemed like the much more important thing was to learn a new skill, because it's much more challenging for our brain. It causes it to think in a completely new way, which is very healthy for us. So they gave examples like take a class in something you've been wanting to learn, pick up a hobby, learn a new language, but learn a new skill. And that is hugely important for keeping our minds as young as possible for as long as we can. So when I started looking into this, I thought that this was mostly going to be doctors and researchers and longevity specialists saying, hey, do this amount of exercise for this long, or, play this game, or take this supplement. Turns out that those are not necessarily top of the list when it comes to keeping ourselves healthy. So one of the things that was rated high over and over again on everything I read was social interaction. So it's been proven in studies that people who live in communities where they have close neighbors that they're interacting with frequently keeps them more mobile, keeps their mind younger. And those interactions are so important for a healthy mindset. So I'm going to read you a quote here that I find so powerful, and it really tells you how important it is to have mental wellness and a good, positive attitude in your life. So Shape quotes Dr. Herbert Benson, MD, as saying, 60 to 90% of all doctor's visits each year are related to anxiety, depression, obsessive anger, and hostility, insomnia, high blood pressure, and heart attacks, all problems caused by stress. So if you don't think it's important that you feel stressed all the time, this, I hope, is a wake-up call to you. It is so important. It is so important that we learn how to manage our stress by spending time with other people, by meditating, by spending time in nature. Another thing I found interesting in my reading was that people who have a positive outlook in life are proven to live longer than their negative counterparts. So you're actually going to live longer if you have a general, better, more optimistic outlook on life. Also, I apologize for the poor lighting today. It is pouring rain outside of my windows right now, so it's very gray and cloudy, kind of dismal kind of day. Okay, so I wanted to know if I'm just starting out, because really I am. I walk a lot, but I don't do a lot of other exercise other than that. So I really wanted to know, okay, what are the specific things? Don't just tell me to exercise. Like, what are the specific best things that we can do as middle-aged people to keep our bodies healthy? So there were two things that came up over and over again as the best things to do. Number one was walking. Walking was the single thing most recommended by everybody I was reading, every article I was looking at. Walking was top of the list. And there were several reasons for that. First of all, it gets you outside of nature a lot of times, which, as we already know, as we already talked about, is healing for us mentally. It also lowers stress because it helps your cortisol levels go down, helps you maintain a healthy weight. And the key thing is it doesn't put too much stress on your body. So, things like running or lifting really heavy weights, although I'm not saying those things are not healthy, but they do put more stress on your body. And if we're looking to put as little stress on our body as we can as we age, but to stay as healthy as we can, walking is the way to go. Research led by Ai-Min Lee, professor in the Department of Epidemiology, I don't think I said that right, found that older women who walked at least 4,400 steps each day had greater longevity than those who walked less. That was per an article from harvard.edu. FortuneWell quotes the following: people who walked 8,000 or more steps even one day a week were less likely to die over a 10-year period than those who did not. And that is from the Medical Association Network Open. So, and also these sources are linked in my blog. So if you want to read the blog post or you just want to check out some of these sources, certainly check out my blog post on agingwellwithjoy.com. I'll link it for you below, and it has those sources. But 8,000 steps, you guys. I mean, 8,000 steps, that's so easy to get in a day, and it literally helps you live longer. So I find that very encouraging because walking is the easiest form of exercise, and it turns out it's also the best. Number 2 was yoga. Now, I was not as happy to read this because yoga is not a part of my daily practice. I try to be consistent with yoga, but I struggle with that. However, turns out it's hugely impactful as you get older. Yoga increases mobility. It can help prevent cognitive decline. It helps with things like bone strength and flexibility. It is just again and again recommended as the exercise to do as you age. So, yoga, hugely important. And also the benefits of breath work in yoga were also mentioned, tying back to the whole meditation piece. So doing yoga exercise and focusing on your breath, I believe that's probably why it helps with the cognitive decline, because you're lowering those stress levels as you learn to control your breathing. Okay, what to eat to stay young? Sadly, very sadly, sugar was not on the list. Woe is me. What was on the list? Okay, green tea. Full of polyphenols, recommended over and over again. Drink green tea, guys. It is so healthy for you. Omega-3 fatty acids, nuts and seeds in particular, were recommended over and over again. Walnuts and wild salmon seem to be the most preferred way to get these omega-3 fatty acids into your diet. Now, berries. Berries, because they have such a high antioxidant content and also help to prevent things like dementia and Alzheimer's. Like eating blueberries actually helps prevent you from getting dementia and Alzheimer's. So yeah, eat some blueberries. The other one that was most recommended were goji berries, which I don't think I've ever even eaten a goji berry, but goji berries were highly recommended, so look into that. And pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice, I was not expecting that, but that was high on the list and in multiple things that I read. Medical News Today says pomegranate contains antioxidants and anti-inflammatory substances. Pomegranate juice may benefit people with inflammatory conditions, diabetes, and other health issues. It may also boost digestion and memory and help prevent cancer. Okay, nothing more needs said. Drink pomegranate juice. We've already touched on being social. That played a huge part. Spending time with your family and friends, huge. It's just huge. You have to do it. So if you don't have a friend circle, make some friends. Volunteer at a cause you believe in. Join a club, but get out there, put yourself out there, make friends, keep friends, do things with your friends. Prioritize sleep. Another one, in just about everything I read, prioritize sleep. Sleep is so healing. It is recommended that adults get between 7 and 9 hours of undisturbed, really good sleep every single night. Now, I know for myself, when my life is busy, sleep is the first thing that I negotiate with. I will stay up late to clean the house or to get a blog post done or whatever it may be. But it's actually so important. And specifically the hours of 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. You want to make sure you're sleeping between 10 and 2. During these hours is when your body does most of the processes of cleaning itself out and healing. So if you're missing that, if you're not going to sleep till 11 or 12 every night, you're missing that crucial period of sleep. So make sure you're sleeping between 10 and 2 and getting at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. All right, guys, those were the things I found to be the most important things to keep our minds and our bodies healthy and young as long as we can. Look into these subjects deeper, find out what might work for you, and let's all live longer, happier, healthier lives with the people we love. Wishing you all the health, and thank you for joining me today. Bye-bye.